Mama, I want more toy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Megatron review. At the end of this video, I'll have a channel announcement, but until that point, let's get right into the review. I'm TFP Freckles, and today we're looking at APC Toys 04 Dark Master, also known as Transformers Prime Megatron. I love this interpretation of the character. It was my first introduction to Transformers when I was younger, and it has stuck with me. And my first ever YouTube video on this channel was APC Toys Red Guardian, their version of Transformers Prime Cliff Jumper. So, this was a long time coming. I've had this Megatron for a while, so let's crack them open. But let's look at this packaging first, because all of APC's boxes have this beautiful artwork, and it looks menacing, with lightning crackling, with Destruction Dark Master Evil God written on it. It's just so good. It has the product shots with the robot mode and the jet mode, and he's wrapped in black foam when you open the box, so he's perfectly protected from the outside elements. He's not just rattling around in there. Him and all of his accessories are kept safe. It comes with instructions that are in Japanese, but you can also look up YouTube videos if you don't know how to transform it. From my understanding, this transforms very similarly to the actual Transformers Prime First Edition Megatron. I never owned that. I don't know if I'll ever own it. Quite frankly, I don't need to own it. If I have this, I am very happy with this, and I don't think I need the, original version. But here he is, APC 04 Dark Master, out of his cardboard prison and in robot mode. And first impressions? Absolutely terrific. The paint application is the star of the show here. The entire figure is covered in this astounding metallic silver paint with dark shades of silver, scratches and dents, and beautiful metallic purple accents. Seriously, this has got to be one of the best painted third-party figures I have ever personally handled. The weathering on here is incredibly screen accurate. And you take a closer look at the actual sculpt, it is incredibly faithful to his appearance in the show. The head sculpt is fantastic, capturing that menacing look perfectly. These small red beady eyes are painted with some tiny irises, which just adds life to the face. You can see the details, such as his nose and even his sharp, menacing teeth are sculpted in. It's just magnificent. The shoulders, the forearms, everything down to the purple on his legs look awesome, with lots of sculpted detailing. The hands and his fingers are sculpted and painted nicely, almost like claws. Even panels meant for the jet mode have been sculpted and painted to enhance the robot mode's appearance. The torso has lovely metallic purple highlights and use slightly different shades of silver to break up the sculpt. The knees have cool sculpt work too, and these giant toes, which are like hooves basically, are all completely accurate to the show. Honestly, this has got to be the best visual representation of Transformers Prime Megatron that we've ever gotten. Now, checking out the back, he has no kibble in the lower region whatsoever. His backpack is incredibly compact and folded in together. Everything that could be put away was, and it looks very nice. And they've even painted small details like the joints inside of his arms and purple highlights on the back of his legs. But let's talk about what he comes with, his accessories. First up is the Dark Star Saber. This thing is beautiful. It's a perfect recreation of the weapon from the show. It features a transparent purple piece on the handle to give it that dark energon look. The blade sculpting is fantastic with the spikes and ridges. The handle and main region are all painted with striking metallic color, and it's incredibly reflective. And to get in his hand, you remove the bottom purple cap, and you just slide it in and put the cap back on, and it works really well. And then for storage, there's this separate tab piece that you can plug into his back, though it's really difficult to get out and to get in to begin with. So it's a tight fit, but when it fits, it fits. Next up are his blades. Megatron only had one of these in the show. They gave him two, just for funsies, but these blades can plug into both of his arms, and they're to replicate the sword that he had in the show. Whenever he wasn't firing his fusion cannon, he was using these blades to cut open Autobots and Insecticons and whomever else got in his way. Speaking of that fusion cannon, I gotta get into my first complaint. Now, I like the look of the fusion cannon. Problem is, though, I liked the look of, because this is APC-4, right? So this is their fourth version of Megatron. I like the look of the fusion cannon from their 2.2 version a lot better than this. Like, this is very transparent. Like, the purple, it just sticks out a bit more. I felt that in the 02 version, his fusion cannon was better, but that's personal preference. Second problem is, this thing takes batteries, specifically SMC 392 batteries. Now, the problem isn't finding these necessarily, it's the fact that mine didn't work. Like, the moment I got it, there was an immediate rattling noise, and when I unscrewed the fusion cannon and opened it up, I realized, crap, like, this thing is falling apart, like, it's not holding together. So I just removed the bits, thinking, okay, I removed the rattling noise. But when recording footage for this video, the rattling noise came back, so even more got dislodged. And I'm just like, bro, you kidding me? Like, it can't seriously be an issue. So I don't need LEDs to enjoy my toys. If I wanted a gimmick, I'll get like a mech tech gimmick, you know, something that actually changes it. I don't care about lights. You know, give me good paint over a light show any day of the week, right? But other than that, Megatron looks great with all of his accessories, even if having two blades isn't animation accurate. But in terms of his articulation and looking cool with said accessories, he does a pretty solid job. The head's on a ball joint, but movement is kind of restricted, up and down and left and right due to the helmet design. But his arms can rotate at a full 360 degrees at the shoulder, and there are multiple hinge joints at the shoulder, including ones that allow for transformation, providing a fantastic range of motion. There are also, like, actual butterfly joints. There's a bicep swivel that allows for 360 rotation. Elbows are double jointed thanks to the transformation hinges, providing an amazing range of motion. Wrists have a swivel joint, which, due to the design of Megatron's arm, even though his wrist can theoretically swivel, you know, full 360, he can't. It's closer to 180, but I don't care too much about that. Unfortunately, there's no waist articulation, which is due to the nature of the transformation. I feel like they could have cheated something, but they just couldn't. You win some, you lose some, right? But the legs have a hinge joint for the hip, for kicking forward and backward, and can do pretty solid splits. Like, he's unimpeded in all directions. And another 360 rotation joint just above the knee, with his knees bending 90 degrees, and his ankles not really being able to do anything other than be kind of sturdy, which helps with posing. Overall, despite the lack of a waist articulation, his posability is really good. He scales well with the other APC figures like Optimus Prime, and even other, like, original Prime figures like Shockwave and Ratchet, which scale, I think, moderately well with this version of Megatron. Now, the transformation. I can't get into it too much because I don't care too much about describing said transformation, but it is not that difficult. The problem is a lot of the leg tabs and the chest tabs and the back. It sounds like I'm complaining a lot, but the main issue I have with the transformation is the fact that there are very little clearance for a lot of these things. It's already covered in, like, dents and scratches, so you won't ever actually notice if you do scratch this thing, but it is ass clenching to try and do certain things out of order, so you have to be really careful about which way you swivel this joint or which way you move the arms, because you just don't know until you finally set it into place, and suddenly it's fine. You have no issues whatsoever. But once you navigate the transformation, you get his Cybertronian jet mode. Now, this is pretty accurate to the TV show. Even his stupid little head sticking up there, like, that's animation accurate. It is awesome. But again, I have an aesthetic qualm with the fact that the tips of his jet mode are these transparent purple little, like, fangs, you know? Like, why? It wasn't like this in the show. Why did you do this? Again, the 02 version of this toy did it correctly the first time around. They had these little hooks here be like a dark shade of silver. Funny enough, the same shade that the rest of Megatron here is. Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make any... What? So you can make it like an 05 version that is even more accurate? Like, I don't get why you would do this. It reminds me of, like, all the different colors of Galvatron that have come out, where you're like, oh, but this purple is closer to that purple, and remove the smudges here, and this is, like, a retro toy exclusive, you know, based off his original design. Like, dude, you kidding me? Just give me what I want. Give it in the color that it's supposed to be. Quit taking my money, please. Quit taking my money. But overall, it looks good. You don't have any proper weapon storage besides for the fusion cannon, and even then it kind of looks awkward hanging off the jet mode. Like, the blades don't fit anywhere, but I don't care all that much about it. But as well as coming with all these great accessories, there was an additional pack that was produced called God Vessel, made by Gear Factory, which is APC under a different name. So Gear Factory made a separate pack for this Megatron toy to give him the arm of Liege Maximo that Megatron had very briefly in the Transformers Prime show. So they made this pack that came with this little canister that you can put Liege Maximo's arm or Megatron's own arm into without any problems. The arm itself, you can articulate the fingers unlike the actual toy, and you can also neatly fit the sword into his hand. Problem is, it doesn't hold very well at all. It has a very loose grip, so I don't like necessarily having him hold sword, the Dark Star Saber, in his hand, even though canonically in the show that's the only way Megatron can properly wield the sword, as far as my memory is telling me. I'm probably wrong, but I don't care to check. Which sucks. But it looks great, and attaching it is incredibly easy. You just remove the screw on the underside of Megatron's shoulder, then you shimmy off his arm by this peg, then you replace it with the God Vessel, and you put the screw back in, and bing bang boom, you got your Megatron's arm replaced. Even cooler, when you transform Megatron, all you have to do is unpeg this arm tab here, and it basically does the same thing as before, but now you got this little red thing at the back, which is also, I think, animation accurate from when he had that red arm in the TV show. You could probably add the fusion cannon on top, but it doesn't actually plug into the God Vessel arm, so it's off to the side where it belongs. And I kind of like this look. I really did enjoy that character moment in the TV show where he had to cut off something incredibly valuable to get something else of equal, if not more value, in return. So I thought it was very cool, and I'm very happy to have bought this. And the installation and replacing of it is easy. No problems for me. The canister is cool. And I wasn't sure where to put this, but my only other issue with the figure is some of its, certain tolerances aren't where they should be. Before I replaced the arm, Megatron's right arm was incredibly loose, so I had to tighten that joint just to pop it out for the God Vessel arm, so that was a bitch and a half. Plus his back. I could just gently push his back, and his arm will unpeg from the back. I don't know how to describe it other than to show you right here. Very little pressure is being applied, and it just comes right off. And it's incredibly frustrating for posing, because I'm trying to mess with his arms a bunch, and it keeps on untabbing. No matter how hard I fucking squeeze it, it doesn't stay where it's supposed to, and that is incredibly frustrating. But those are my only real issues, is loose limbs, an untabbable back, and clearance issues. Otherwise, this Megatron looks gorgeous. So, my final thoughts on APC Toys Dark Master and God Vessel is that it is a phenomenal figure. The robot mode is pretty much flawless in terms of sculpt and paint. The articulation is great, even with some of its, missing points, like the waist or the feet not being able to be, terribly stable. The accessories are on point and look exactly the way that they're supposed to. Honestly, I think it's worth it. I bought it for, I want to say, $45, $50 on the Show Z store. It's not currently available, but you can look on their store for their other figures. I'm sure they have other stuff. And you can also look up Gear Factory. I think the God Vessel arm and their wheeljack is still available for purchase. It's a bit more expensive than it was when I bought it, but I mean, if you want it, I would highly encourage you buy the wheeljack. It is very cool. I like that update from the original Transformers Prime figure. But now, this is the end of the review, so I have to make a channel announcement. This isn't my favorite thing to say, but I feel like I need to take a hiatus for the month of June. I know it sucks, the idea of me taking a hiatus. I don't enjoy that idea at all. I've tried to fight against it, but I have a bunch of upcoming stuff, like college stuff. I want to change up work, actual work. This is a hobby. I want to change that up. I got a bunch of important stuff going on. And yeah, I've only made 38 videos, and a good chunk of them aren't even made back to back. It is, I don't know, this month of Megatron has been putting me through the ropes, not gonna lie. It's been very stressful more than once to try and keep this up, while also trying to juggle a bunch of other things. That's not your guys' fault. I'm incredibly grateful for the views and the subscribers, and I wish to continue having that momentum but at the same time, I just need a break. Like, obviously, I'll make updates on my Patreon page. I'm hoping in July, maybe things will even out, get all my shit in order so I can make stuff, because I do genuinely enjoy making these videos, and hearing your guys' opinions, as few and far between as that is, I do enjoy it, and I want to do more of that. I want to continue making content like this, but at the moment, I just can't as well as I would like to, I feel like I'm not trying as hard or not putting as much creative spirit as I normally would or as I could. So I'm giving myself a month-long break. I'll probably post photos on my Patreon page or, more your month, your character on my TikTok page. But I wanted to announce this break ahead of time so that y'all aren't surprised, a month in going, hey, where's the newest video? I'm very thankful to you all. I'm hoping to come back soon, but this will be my last video for the month. I hope you enjoyed Megatron as much as I have. I've been TFP Freckles. You have a fantastic day, everyone.